So welcome to our webinar, Master Email Messaging with PracticeQ for Elevated Patient Communication with Beverly Johnson. Beverly, do you want to take a few minutes to introduce yourself and share more about what we'll be learning today? That would be awesome. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks to both of, or well, Jessica's not with us, but both of you for allowing me to do this event today. And welcome everyone. I am Beverly Johnson. I'm one of the co-owners and co-founders of Silverleaf Practice Management Solutions. My clinical experience is in critical care, ER for over 20 years, and then about another 10 years of experience in informatics and in quality management. I've been a long-time PracticeQ user for about almost 7 years now, and it's the only system that we recommend to our providers when we're setting up our clients with their systems and things. So I've also earned the PracticeQ Trusted Partner designation, and I collaborate with the folks over there at IntakeQ every once in a while for a clinical view. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started. All right, so today we're going to be going over, going to show you really how to make all your email messages stand out and how to use the functionality in the email messages to its fullest capacity. So we're going to explore all the customized messaging available in PracticeQ. We'll go over the email templates primarily, but I'll briefly touch on the SMS templates. I'm going to show you how to set up a few of the automated email templates and take you into Canva and also into ChatGPT to create really creative and professional emails that will definitely get your clients' attention. And then I'll go over a few tips and tricks at the end of the presentation. So let's get started. To find the messages in PracticeQ, you're going to go to Bookings and then Booking Settings and then Messages, and it's going to bring you to this screen. There are two main types of custom messages in PracticeQ. There is the email templates, and then there's the SMS templates. And this can get a little spammy, okay? This is one reason why we don't set up the SMS templates a lot in here because you can do a lot of duplication, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Patients, when they get text messages from you, they can report it as junk, and that can get you blocked from cell phone carriers altogether. So if you do decide to use both at the same time, just use them sparingly because, like I said, it'll be duplicative and it will annoy people. And so an example of that would be if you use the time to book again email, and then you also use a time to book again SMS template, they're going to get both of them. So that's a little confusing in IntakeQ. We have reminders, right? Patients will sign up for reminders when they book their appointment. That reminder is only for their appointment. You have an appointment with so-and-so, right? It's such and such time. It's not this here. So when they say they only want SMS text, these things here will still go out to them via email, okay? And then other text messages that they're set up down here will go out. So that's a little different. Because that's a different setting from this. So just keep that in mind when you're creating these. You don't actually have to set up a whole nother reminder. They're already getting it. If they've signed up for SMS text, they've already getting it. And if they've signed up for emails and the way they want to be notified, that's where this one's coming from. So let's see. We only reserve the SMS templates for the appointments. We're going to go over two different emails. We're going to create two different emails today, but I want to just touch on this screen first. So when you do create the email, this is going to pop up. And there are several options, here. We're going to go through each one of these. So the scheduled one, the first one at the top, it means that you can schedule these messages to go out so many days before or after an appointment, the appointment date, or you can do it before hold on a second. You can schedule so many days before or after the appointment date, or before or after the booking date. So that's one option. And we're going to go through this when I show you the scheduled message here in a second. Or you can change the time to go the same day before or after the appointment. You can also include a form to be sent with this specific type of message. An example would be if you wanted to send an email reminder to your patients to do their intake paperwork, if they've not already done so many days prior to their appointment. One caveat to this, though, is that PracticeQ does not know if the patient has actually done their paperwork. So it's not going to look to see before it sends the email. It's just going to send the email as a reminder to do it if they haven't already done it. So the other type of scheduled message might be asking patients for an online review, which we're going to do one of those today. The possibilities are really endless with scheduled email types. But remember, if you're creating these, that you want to pay attention to all the ones that you're creating, because you may get really excited about being able to send out all of these scheduled emails, but it can also feel like a bombardment to your patient's email as well if they're going out just right behind each other, and then they'll just disregard them, right? We've all been there. So if you're sending out a join my patient portal and a leave us a review and patient instructions, all of that at one time, they may miss some of those or just ignore them altogether. So make sure you're spacing them out when you're creating these. The next one is appointment confirmation. That template, that is if you want to send patients an automated thing once you confirm their appointment. This could be further instructions, a welcome to a new patient, that kind of thing. The next one is appointment reminder. This reminds them about their appointment. So when you're sending that appointment reminder, or when they clicked in their settings that they want an appointment reminder, this is the one that's going to go out to them. It reminds them of their appointment. You may want to tell them to bring a copy of their insurance card or their driver's license if you're not collecting those on their intake form. Or you may be telling them to arrive early or giving them instructions to your office on that one. The next one is appointment declined. This is when you use the option to either approve or decline an appointment. For the pending request, if you use your screening tool, you can have this automatically go out when you decline the appointment. So you can say something like, unfortunately, we're going to have to decline your appointment after reviewing your screening questions, as our office is not a good fit for the treatment that you're seeking. And then possibly provide them with referral sources or whatever else you might want to tell them. The next one is canceled by staff. So canceled by staff, this is when you or your staff member cancels an appointment. This will go out automatically, as when you hit that cancel button, this email message will go out to them. And you can put something in there like, hey, we're sorry for the inconvenience, but we're going to need to cancel your appointment on this date. And then you can also leave like a link for them to rebook the appointment if you're allowing online booking, or you can give them instructions on how to call your office to reschedule. So it's just kind of an automated thing. You don't have to remember to reach out to the patient. It's just going to happen based on you pushing the cancellation button. The next one is cancellation by client. So this is when your patients cancel their appointment. It's similar to the previous one, right? But this is the patient, not the staff canceling. This one may read a little different. We're sorry you had to cancel your appointment. We hope everything's okay. Please reschedule to keep your mental health on track and prevent running out of refills. That's just an example. And then you, of course, put your booking link in there for them to reschedule. The next one would be appointment missed. So this goes out when you mark your appointment as missed. You have to do that, right? These are all kind of being sent off of triggers. So the moment you mark that patient as missed, this email is going to go out. So it may say something, hey, we missed you today. Please reschedule as soon as possible. But if you never hit that missed button for that appointment, that email will not get triggered. The next one's going to be package. You got 3 here for different package types. I'm not going to go into each one of those, but that's pretty self-explanatory when you look at those. That's if you're using packages, appointment types, and that kind of thing in your booking settings. Most providers don't use those, but if you do have those options. The next one is the create a happy birthday one. So this actually looks at the patient's birthday in your system and sends out a happy birthday email just automatically. We've had patients respond sometimes with, thank you very much for remembering my birthday. They don't know it's automated, but it makes them feel good, right? It's just that extra touch for your office. There is a con to this one though. Make sure that in your practice, you have some kind of process to remove birthdays from patients that pass, or if they are being discharged from your practice for some kind of reason or whatever, remove their email. We actually had, when I very first started using PracticeQ many years ago, we actually, my first practice was a psychiatric practice, and there was a patient's mother that was intercepting emails because that patient had committed suicide. And so she was watching emails, and unfortunately it happened like 2 days before his birthday, and she got that email, and it was a really sad thing, and she was upset about it, and we felt terrible, but we just didn't realize that the system would do that. So we'd like to pass that on to you. Not something fun to talk about, but definitely something that needs to be thought about in your practice, that you're doing that kind of thing. The time to book again, that's a really neat feature. The system will actually count down from the last time the patient had an appointment. And it looks to see if the patient has one scheduled. And if they don't have one scheduled and it gets to the certain time frame, it will actually send them this email that says, hey, you need to book another appointment. Most providers, want their follow-up appointments to be, at minimum 90 days. So we usually set the little time counter to 75 days. So this means at 75 days, if the patient hasn't had an appointment, it will send the email out if there's not something already scheduled. If there's something scheduled on day 77, it's not going to send it. And then you can have your booking link and that kind of thing in there. This is helpful because it keeps you from having to go through your patient list constantly, right? And looking for who hasn't had an appointment in 90 days and having to send them some kind of contact. This is just going to automatically happen for you. The next one is your telehealth reminders. So the funny thing about this one, it does not pop in until you enable your telehealth somewhere. So as you're working through your system and you're setting things up, you won't see these when you get to the messages and you're setting up all your email messages and you're going to wonder where your telehealth ones are. When you get further into the system, when you set up your Google Meets or you set up your Zoom or you enable IntakeQ's telehealth, then it comes in over here. So don't forget to come back and set this one up. Most providers will send this out like an hour before the appointment just to remind patients. Now, again, the patient, if they did email reminders, they're going to get this in their email. If they did SMS reminders, this is going to be in their email. Okay, so they won't get a text reminder about their Zoom meeting with their Zoom link if they just picked text reminders. It will still go to their email though. Okay, so that's, if you're going to want to do a text, then you're going to have to create a separate SMS text to give their link for them. Just remember to go back and set this up. You can also have two. I've had some providers want to set up an hour out and then 30 minutes out because patients will start panicking that they can't find their link. Then the next one, or the last one, is the check-in reminder. So this one just reminds patients to check in for their appointment if you've got this function turned on. If you don't have this function turned on, you will not see the option here to set up your reminder. So for today, we're going to do a couple of these so that you can see kind of how we set them up. And we can go through the parts of the actual setup. And we're going to start with the happy birthday one. So we're going to do a little demo. All right, so now you're going to go into your IntakeQ there. And you're going to pick which one you want to set up. So we're looking for the happy birthday template right here. And it's going to bring you here. So there's a lot of settings in these different emails, and they change. This part here will change based on the email that you're setting up. This one is probably the simplest one. So we're going to start with this one first, and then we're going to do a scheduled one. And you'll notice that the toolbar pretty much stays the same, but your add field will change. And we're going to go over that here in a second. So step one, you're going to name your email. So we're just going to say happy birthday. And then it asks you the email type. It will default to the email type that you opened, but you also have the ability to change it. So if you're like, oh, this is supposed to be a scheduled email instead, you can change it, and you see how it changes your formatting here. We're going to go back to the happy birthday. It says it's going to send it on their birthday, right? In other email templates, there are different settings here. The next one is this little box that says is active. You don't want to check this box until you are completely ready to send the email. You've got everything done. You've tested it. Everything looks great. Then you're going to set it to active. It makes you want to just, as you're going through, you just want to check the box and go ahead and make it active. But if you're not ready to, it's going to go ahead and start sending it out as soon as it sees somebody's birthday. If somebody's birthday is today and it sees it, it's just going to send out this blank email. So just make sure that you're ready to send it out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the email subject. Now, this can be just as simple as having, happy birthday from XYZ Psychiatry or whatever, or you can go over into ChatGPT. So we're going to go to ChatGPT just so you get experience with that. Some of you probably have already used that, but if you haven't, this may be your first example of using ChatGPT for something. So we're going to go over here. Can you see my ChatGPT?
Yes.
App? Okay. So we're going to stay logged out. ChatGPT is actually free for just like a few little examples or a few prompts, it'll just be free for you, but then it's going to start trying to charge you. There are multiple of these out there. Google just came up with their Gemini one. So if you have Google Workspace, you can use Gemini, but everybody seems to be familiar with the term Chat GPT. So we're going to come in and we're going to put the prompt in that says, write a happy birthday email to a patient from XYZ Psychiatry. So pretty quick, right? So now it said, the subject is happy birthday from XYZ Psychiatry. We're just going to copy and paste that over into the email. And I'm just going to do that without switching my screen back until I'm ready to get out of ChatGPT. Okay. Am I back to IntakeQ now, Abby?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is go over all these little icons in the toolbar. A lot of them are similar to what you would see like in a Word document or Google, but some of them are different. So the first one here is HTML. Unless you know HTML coding, you really don't need to use this one. But if you do and you want to code your emails, you can definitely do that. You can also look to see how this is coded. So if I click on it, it shows you the code on there. The next one is paragraphs, so or formats in paragraphs. So you can tell it what kind of text you want to use, if you want to use big text, if you want to put a quote in, just normal text. So for the context of this one, I'm just going to put in a happy birthday up here. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to go to my format tab and click heading 2. So it made it bigger, and then I'm going to center it here. Okay, so that's how you would do the formatting there. The next one is bold. So if I want to make my happy birthday bold, I can do that. If I want to make it italicized, if I want to underline it, strike through. I've not figured out an instance that I would use this, but it's there in case you do find that reason. I've just not done that yet. The next one is lists. So you have the ability to put in lists in your email. So if you click here, you can do an unordered list, meaning it's got the little bullet points, or you can do ordered lists. So if you click here, it's just going to put your tab in there. So make sure you eat cake, right? And then when you hit enter, and if you've done, if you've set up any of the forms, like the consent forms and IntakeQ, it's similar toolbar there. So you got the bullet points, you've got the numbers, and then you have the ability to enter images. And we're going to do that here in just a second. We're going to come back to this one. The next thing you do is enter tables. So here's your little table icon. When you click it, you have the ability to insert the table. If you click in the table and you come back to your little icon, you have the ability to add rows above or below, to the right, to the left. So you can put a header on it, all those kind of things. So maybe we want to put in books to read. Maybe we can do self-care. And whatever else you might want to put over here. Cake decorators, I don't know. So now you have this nice little table in your email, and you could use this, for lots of different things. So just having this makes it look a little cleaner. You can put links in here. You can do all kinds of cool little things with tables. The next one is actually links. So if you find maybe a link that has, let's see, we'll do books to read for your birthday. All right, so now I'm going to just tell them books to read. And I could highlight this and make a link to this, or I could put it down here even, but we're going to add the link to this part here. So this is insert link. So you would put the URL here that you picked, and then whatever text you want it to read here. I should have turned off those notifications in IntakeQ. So books to read. I always click the open link in new tab. What will happen here is when they click the link, now it opens a whole new tab for them, and they can always come back to this email, and they don't have to, the link that you sent them to is not going to take over this tab that they're in for their email. It's going to open a different one. You click insert, and now you've got your hyperlink here. So when a patient clicks that, they're going to go directly to the link. You could do that with all of them. You could even do that with resources. If you're sending resources to a patient, websites you're wanting them to visit or whatever, links come in handy there, or even to your Google Drive. The next thing to add in would be a line. So it puts a very faint little line. I don't know if you can see it because it kind of put it right up underneath my table. I'll put another one down here. So you can see a little line. It's used for like defining or, maybe putting the page divider in there, just puts that little faint line in there, and just can separate the email. I don't use that very often, but it is available if you need that. I showed you a while ago how to align this, but you do have the ability for align here. You can align left, you can align center, you can align right. The next one that you can do is text color. So here, you can change it the text, or you can highlight the text. This always throws me off because I forget to change it to highlight when I want to highlight something. And you could do both. You can change the text and highlight. So if I wanted to make happy birthday red or highlight it in red, I can do that. If I want to highlight that again and change the text color to yellow, I have to make sure I change it, right? Toggle it over to text instead of highlight and change my text to yellow. Kind of angry looking, but that's how that would work. The next one would be your size of your fonts here. So if you click it, it shows you the different pixels. This one gets a little tricky sometimes because when you click 18 or get a bigger font size, sometimes it'll make it smaller first, and you've got to go back in and click it again to make it bigger. And you saw I lost the formatting there. Sometimes that happens. You have to go back and reformat the color or the highlight. The next one is the add field. So this one comes in handy because it's got the client's full name, it's got their first name, and it also has your booking page URL. I don't ever use the booking page URL in here because it actually puts the whole long URL. I will take my booking page URL and just put it as a link. So I'll say, book here, and then have my booking URL there instead of having all the, 500 characters or however many are in that link. It just looks better when you clean it up and put the text in there. But in this happy birthday, we're going to put the patient's name right here because we want the email to be personalized, right? We want it to have the system just to put their name in. So you're going to come down here to your patient name. We're going to click add field, and we're going to put client's first name. So now every time this email goes out, the system finds that person's first name and puts it in there for you. So it looks very personal. And you can use this wording. You can use whatever wording you want to in here. This just kind of helps you. I know sometimes I kind of draw a blank on what to put into these emails sometimes and make it sound really professional. So I like using ChatGPT for those instances. And just so everybody knows, those are not patients popping up. They're just my clients. I'm not sharing any patient information there. Let's see. I want to make sure I covered all of my topics there. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to put in here is an image. Told you I would come back to that. I love Canva. Canva makes life so easy. If you have never used it, this is going to be really cool for you. You can do all kinds of things in Canva. It is a very easy, they have just tons of already ready-made graphics in there for you. You don't have to create anything. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And let's go over to Canva. Can you see my Canva screen there, Abby?
Yes.
So when you log into Canva, and guys, this program is really cheap. I think they just announced a price increase, but I know it up to this point, it's been like $12 and like 95 cents a month or something. And you get a ton of things in here that's already created by another graphics designer. And you can just put your little touches on it and be done. So I'm going to show you how to do one of those real quick for this specific email. And it's just canva.com, pretty easy to find. When you log in, you're going to have an option to create your own design here, or you can come through here and do a search. And you can also come into the different things, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, documents, whiteboards, and other social media, just videos, all kinds of stuff in here. So we're going to type in happy birthday. And it's pulling up all kinds of birthday templates. So you can see these, I didn't create these. These were all made by Canva. So it makes it really easy to do your own. I did already kind of create one for this. So I'm just going to pop this one up. It's already been done. The picture is there, the fonts are there and everything. You may want to change these, right? You may not like this font, or maybe you want to change it around. Maybe you want a different picture in the background, but you kind of like the way this one is looking, but you just want to make a few edits. So I'm going to go over very simple edits in here. You just click on the picture and it's going to bring up this little toolbar for you. So when you have the picture highlighted, it is changing the whole picture. But if you'll see, I can hover over different items or elements in the picture, and I can change those too. So I can change the font. I can change the font here. I can change the colors. So if I want to change the font on this one, I would just come up to the font area here. We'll find this one, and I can change the font. I can also move these things around. I can take them out altogether if I don't want to have it there. I don't have to have it. Now, if you try to change the background on this one, so right here where if you click on it and you try to change the background color, because maybe you don't like that blue, if you change the color and it's an image, you're just going to get a solid color. But you don't have to panic. You can go right back. You just click the little undo button, and now you've got your picture back. If you want to change the pictures, you can come over to Photos, and we can type in happy birthday. And now you've got all these images and stuff that have been made by Canva that you can just drag and drop over. So maybe I want to put this one in here instead. So you can get really creative with it, have fun. I can spend hours in here just creating things and having fun with it. But that's just kind of a down and dirty, quick, view of Canva. There's a whole lot more elements, text. You can put your brand or your logo in here. You can draw things. There's different applications you can add in, and you can also create videos. And creating videos in here, they already supply some little things that like little video snippets, and you can put things together. Like, just get in here and play with it. It's really amazing, all of the things that that you have available. So I'm going to go back over. I'm going to save this one and put it over into our email. So you would want to change the date or change the name here and name it something that you're going to remember. So happy birthday. And then you're going to come to share. You're going to click download. And I do change this to JPEG or JPG instead of the ping, just because most systems will recognize JPEGs. A lot of them will do pings too, but I just know JPEGs are, across the board universally recognized as an image. So I'll always use the JPEG. But you do have other options. When you're doing like newsletters and stuff like that, you have other options here that you can change things into. But for this picture, I'm going to use the JPEG. And then you're going to click download, and it's going to download it to your computer. So we're going to go back over to our intake queue here. And you could put this picture wherever. You could put it at the top, you could put it at the bottom, wherever you might want to put that. So you're going to come back and grab your little image icon and click choose files. And then if you have a Mac, this is what it's going to look like. If you have a PC, then it's going to look a little different. But you find wherever it is that you saved that happy birthday image. And I just put the image I had saved last night. So it looks really big, right, in this email. So we're going to make this picture smaller. You just put it in here, and this little square, you're going to drag it up to make the picture small. Now, if you want to center it, you click the picture again, and you're going to come up to your little align and click align center. Now, sometimes it doesn't work. Come to before it. Put your little cursor right before your picture. So you can barely see it there. It highlights that little side. Then go back up to your align. Sometimes it'll do it on the picture, and sometimes you have to be before the picture for it to do it. And if I want to align all this to be center with the rest of it, do center here. I could make this bigger and put it a different color if I wanted to. Could change this and put this center and italicize it. So it kind of made it change there. So once you do all of that and you get your email the way that you want it, and you're like, this looks pretty good, I'm ready to go ahead and test it, you will always, 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 always send yourself an email first and look at it before you make this active. And you can do that by sending me a test email. It's just going to send it to the email that you have on file in your system, and go and look at it. Look at it on your computer, look at it on your tablet, and look at it on your phone, because there's been many times that this looked great here, and then when I got it over to my phone, it looked crazy. The image was too skinny, or it was too big, or it was just all kinds of stuff. So make sure that you check it, your picture, that it's not distorted and it looks really good over there. The other thing to note is if your over 50 like I am, my eyes need bigger fonts on my phone. So I changed the fonts to be large. When I try to view this on my phone, it looks a little crazy because my fonts are so big. There's no way really that you can prevent doing that. There's no font setting over here that you can say, change it if the fonts are big on the mobile app. Can't do that. So just know that you need to change your mobile view for your fonts to regular and view it that way. Most people are going to be seeing their phones at regular, font size anyway, but just kind of something to note there. And that's how you do your happy birthday email. The next one that we're going to do is you're going to ask your patients for an online review, and that's going to be a scheduled type of email. So once you're finished here, you just click save. If you want to make it active, you come back and click your active button. I'm going to cancel this one because I don't need another happy birthday email in my system. So we're going to close this and go to the next one. All right, so we're back in IntakeQ. We're going to go to add email. And we're going to create a new scheduled email template. Again, lots of settings here to set up, a lot more fields to set up. But we're going to go over into ChatGPT again, and we're going to ask it to write us, let me share this tab, write an email asking a patient for a review for XYZ psychiatry. When I do that, I love AI chats, guys. I use AI even for my emails sometimes. If my email's sounding weird or if I don't want to come off a certain way or whatever, I need it to be really, really polite or however I need to do that, and I'm struggling for words or how to word something, I'll just come in here and have it write for me. And you can even tell it to rewrite something, like add in this or rewrite using this tone, or I could rewrite this saying use a marketing tone. So it'll start putting in marketing terms in there. It's really a very powerful tool to use in your everyday for just all kinds of stuff. And there's apps, there's all kinds of different programs that'll do this. So I can just copy and paste this like I did before so that we can go back over to that screen. All right, so we're back in IntakeQ. We're going to name this one. So we'll say leave a review. It is going to be a scheduled email. Now you have the ability to change the services. So if I uncheck this, we have a lot of services, so don't let that freak you out. There's a whole lot here. But you can change the scheduled emails to only go out for certain appointment types, okay? So you'll have maybe a new patient appointment, then you have follow-up appointments. You can really customize those emails specifically for the service types. I'm just going to have it right now to go out to every single appointment that we have. I want to ask them for a review after their appointment. But you do have that custom, the ability to customize that. The next thing you're going to have is the location. So you may have different locations for your business. Maybe you want to customize one to one location and one to the other. You might put an address on one, but not on the other. So you can really get creative with that as well. We're going to use all locations. The next one is use this email for practitioners. So you have the ability to change your practitioners in here, or you can just send it for every patient, for every practitioner. Then you can pick when you want to send it. So this gives you two options. You can send it so many days after the appointment date, or before the appointment date, or after or before the booking date. So the booking date is the day that they make their appointment, right? Or you book their appointment. The appointment date is the day that they have the appointment with you. So just make sure you pick that, or pick one of those. Or you can also have it go out the same day. So for this one, we could have it go out the same day, maybe 2 hours after their appointment. It's got after, before, right? After. So we want this to go out to all locations, all services, all providers, 2 hours after the appointment is done. Then you see this little limit over here. No limit means it's going to send one of these every single time the patient has triggers here, 2 hours after their appointment, every single time. That could be a little much, I think. So usually for these, I'll usually ask for a review 3 or 4 times, and then I just leave them alone. Because if they haven't done it by then, they're probably not going to do it. So set that one for send no more than 3. Now you do have the ability to send a form here. So if you click, you see all the forms that you could put in. We're not going to put a form in here today. Then you have the body of the email that I copied and pasted from ChatGPT. You can come in and put your patient's name in again with our add field there. Now, I don't put the whole name in because that kind of looks weird to me, but just the first name. Then you see this one has a lot more fields in it. You got price, you got the full name, you have appointment details, practitioner's name, a form URL, appointment management URL. So there's a lot of different options in there. Now it says it gave us our link here for ChatGPT. So here you could get fancy. You could have like each icon for maybe your Facebook or your Google reviews or whatever. I do recommend that you give patients different options, because if you just give them a Facebook link and they don't use Facebook, you're not going to get a review from them, right? But if you have Yelp, Google, Facebook, your website, then they can pick which one that they would want to leave your review. Maybe you'll get lucky and they'll leave one on all of them. But it does happen, but you want them to leave something somewhere, right? So you can get creative and you can put little pictures in here. I happen to have saved the little Google icon. So again, it comes in here big. We want to make it smaller. We can make it real small if we want. That's about as small as we're going to get it. And then we can put in the link, right? So you click your link, insert link, and then you would put your, I'm just going to put Silverleaf in here, but you would put your link to your review, right? So you have to go find your review area and put your link there. Go to your website, find the link to your review page on your website. Go to Facebook, find your review page on your Facebook business page. And that's the URL that you would use here. And then maybe you can type in something like click here to leave Google review. Open a new tab, click insert. So now, and you can even make this bold if you want to. And so you could do each one of your review types in there. You could do that. I like this because it's clean and simple, but you could also use a big picture like we did before from Canva. They actually have one over there. It says you can put in the search bar, leave a review, and it comes up with all different images to leave a review, and you can customize those. But I do like this because it calls out each thing for them to do. But you can get real creative here. Let's see, we did that. After you've perfected it, you've got it where you want it to be. We're going to do this. Well, there we go. I'll do this italicized. I've seen people like do their signature also over in Canva and then make that an image and then bring it over, make it really small and bring it over here and put their signature in here. That's another way you can personalize the email too. So once you get it done, you're going to click or send yourself an email or to test it, right? Always test it. Then once you've tested it and it looks great, you're ready to use it. Then you just click is active and you're ready to go and save. Once you do that, then they're going to come over here as active. If they're not active, you're going to see this inactive little icon here, and you just click back in it to edit it if you need to. If you remove it, it's gone. There's no way to bring it back. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we've done that one. Let's go to our next slide here. So there's lots of different ways that you can use this scheduled email. I just showed you one example of it. But the possibilities, honestly, for scheduled emails are endless. You just don't get too spammy with them. Make sure you space them out. There's more examples of some scheduled emails, maybe some new newsletters or a patient informational sheet. Right? You can create something really pretty over in Canva, upload it in there, keep it big, right, like the full size there, and then you would schedule it to go out. But remember, these are scheduled based on like the appointment or whatever. They're not an on-demand type of email, so you can't send it that way. Now you could use for scheduled type of things like that, you could use full scripts because full scripts allows you to upload like educational things in there to send to patients. The cool thing about that is that it will log it for you so you can see what you've sent to patients before and you can see if they've ever seen it. I've also seen providers use the consent area to upload a PDF there to send it to patients without making them sign it, right? But just kind of informational. And then it'll show up in their timeline on, what education you sent them before. So you can get real creative there. Another one would be joining the patient portal, right? Have a big kind of flyer that says, hey, join our patient portal. And you could send that out either before or after their appointment time. Depends on how you want them to get that. Having them put the options of what they can do in their portal so they understand what they're signing up for. The other thing is thanking a patient for using your practice. If you sell items in your practice, then you could also have a link to your Shopify in there, or maybe even specific links to different items that you're selling in your Shopify or any kind of other online store. You could use that. Getting them to remember to do things. So like, don't forget to download maybe the Better Me app or the Better Help app or whatever it is. Send that to them in an email just to remind them. Watch this video. You can attach those links to anything, right? So if you have a YouTube video, or maybe there's a YouTube video that you really like about a specific breathing technique or something like that, you could put that in here. So those are just some ideas to kind of get you thinking about all the different things that you could put in your emails. And if you need help, we do this at Silverleaf all the time. Like, we set up the entire system, but if you just want like a help meeting and say, hey, Bev, can you help me with these emails, run through some? We can definitely do that. That is available as one of our services at Silverleaf. So the next one is tips and tricks. Have fun, be creative. Canva is super, super fun. Think outside the box and automate things as much as possible, especially if you are a solo provider. Automating your system is huge. There's processes, automations, and all of that. So if you're utilizing all of that, Intake, you can actually take some of that administrative burden off of you by just automating these things. Use your tools, the Canva and the ChatGPT that I showed you. It just makes creating these things much easier, and you don't have to start from scratch. It's also quick. Always, always, always test your emails on the tablet, on the computer, and on your phone, just to make sure that they look good. Pay attention to the quality of the pictures like we talked about. And then also, every once in a while, the formatting on those pictures changes. I don't know what happens in TakeU with them, but every once in a while, I'll go back in and look like every 6 months at my emails just to see if I need to update something or whatever. And a picture that used to be centered is now to the left. I'm like, what happened here? So I have to center it again, and it'll stay fine for another 6 months or so. And then for some reason it'll default back. Just one of those little quirks. I don't know why it does that, but just make sure you're kind of paying attention to them every once in a while. It's very random how it happens, but definitely can happen. I want to thank everybody for joining today. I know an hour out of your day, especially after a holiday, still trying to get back into things. So I appreciate you joining us. I just want to take a moment to highlight the services that we offer here at Silverleaf. You do have the flyer in the app, so make sure you get that. It tells you all about the services and how to get a hold of us. We do offer full PracticeQ setup. We provide everything that you need, including all the forms, the consents, the documents, everything to streamline, the note templates, everything to streamline your practice. I do offer system optimization and revamp. So if you didn't want someone to professionally set it up for you, you just kind of winged it and did it on your own, but you're wondering, maybe do you have it optimized? Are there other things that you're not sure how to do? We can definitely check that out and make sure that you're using IntakeQ to its full potential. We offer that kind of tailored assistance, and basically I meet with you briefly, and then I do a video recommendation of a revamp on your system, and you can either take that video and do the changes yourself, or you can have us do them for you. We also offer ready-to-use forms. I think over in our Shopify account, we probably have 125 forms, and we are continuously creating those over there. So basically, you purchase the form, we send it to you, you upload it into your account, make a few tweaks, and you're done with that. And we can also create forms for you too. If you don't know how to do that or just need some help, we can definitely help you. We have help meetings. So these help meetings are basically extra support with your system. So they're designed to help you address any kind of challenges or questions that you may have. Maybe you just want help with these emails. We can spend 30 minutes or an hour together. You just pay for my time, basically. And I sit there and either teach you or show you how to do things during the scope of that help meeting, or just tell you, and then you can go and do it yourself, however you want to do that. And then we also offer full private practice setup, not just setting up your IntakeQ or your PracticeQ. We can set up your entire practice. So we can help you with website designs, marketing, logos, marketing. Even if you're already in practice and you need marketing help, we do healthcare marketing, logo design. We have VMR services or virtual assistant services, all US based, billing services, all US based. Trying to think of like HR services. So if you need HR consultation for employees and or contractors you're bringing on, I do have a person that can help you with that. Spruce setup. So if you need help with your Spruce, doing voicemails or doing phone trees or anything like that, we do that. So pretty much anything you need to set up your private practice and or maintain it, we can help you with. The only thing we don't do is credentialing currently, but we do have someone we can refer you to that used to work for us doing credentialing. We just stopped doing credentialing at Silverleaf because it was just kind of more of a pain, honestly. So one of our main credentialers went off and started her own business, so we refer people to her. We trust her very, very much. So we're active on all social media all the time. So we're always just an email, a text, or a website visit away. If you need any help, we're always here for you. So Abby, thank you for having me here today. And again, to everyone for spending the hour with us and putting up with my fast talking. You guys will get a video too, so you can go back and listen to it. I hope you found the session helpful.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for your time today, Beverly. And thank you to everyone who's joined. And we hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.